Today we're talking about the 5 things that are quietly drowning out your intuition in dating after 40. Your intuition is not broken and it's not missing. Something specific is blocking it, and today we're going to name exactly what it is so you can figure out which one has the most grip on you right now. If you're not subscribed yet, hit the button now so you don't miss what's coming this season. We're going to dive into the 5 intuition blockers. I've used all of these and I still have to catch myself. So it's something that is a work in progress that you can kind of see if you're doing any of these and make note of them. And of course, just observe and then being compassionate to yourself and saying, well, it's okay. I did this again. So it's something that you can use as a working checklist for yourself to see if you do any of these things. The first one is overthinking. The longest journey is from the head to the heart. And when you spend a lot of your mental energy justifying, making logic out of things, making things make sense on paper, you cannot hear the quiet signal underneath, which is your intuition. Overthinking is not intelligence. It's noise management dressed up as problem solving. And so if you're making a lot of noise and you're up in your head, and I've said in other episodes, the mind will actually take you on a ping pong match back and forth, going this way and then that way, and, proving itself wrong all the time. Your thoughts can really not be trusted. We still need the mind, but we don't want to get into that overthinking loop, because when we get into the mental activity, or the monkey mind, you might want to call it, you're going to drown out your intuition 100%. You're not going to be able to hear it. And then you're going to think that your mental gymnastics are actually your intuition, and you're going to get them mixed up. And if you want to know how to decipher between the two, make sure you go back and listen to the episode about how to tell the difference between intuition and fear to get more dialed into that part. So, number 1, overthinking. That is a huge one. Second cousin to overthinking, but a very important distinction to be made, is overanalyzing. So your overthinking's more specific cousin, we can call it, the loop of what did he mean by that? Why did he say that? Why is he making that facial expression right now? Is he pulling away? What should I do? Every minute that you spend analyzing his behavior is a minute that you're not checking in with your own and checking in with your intuition to see what your experience is of the situation, not what he's doing in the moment. So your intuition is about you, not him. Your intuition is guiding you on your life path, not deep diving into analyzing everything that he is doing and why he's doing it. That's not the purpose of your intuition. And I know I misused my intuition for many years doing this, so I know exactly how much of a time waster and a loop that it will actually take you on. Number 3 is overgiving. If you give someone a chance that your intuition is already saying no to, or your body is already trying to say, no, this is not meant for you, because you don't want to seem unkind, like you stay on a second date that you knew during the first date that it was wrong, or that it wasn't going to lead anywhere, or it wasn't right for you, but you tell yourself that you're being compassionate. And you're actually overriding a clean signal with a guilt trip. So overgiving is not generosity in this case. It is self-abandonment with good manners. So it's being that good girl, the people pleaser. I hear this a lot with women saying, but I need to give him a chance, and I need to give the situation a chance, or I need to spend more time with this so that I can figure out what exactly I want. And when you really dial into your intuition is going to tell you fairly quickly. It's just that you don't maybe like the answer, or you don't necessarily want to listen to it. So you say, well, I need to give myself more time. I need to give this situation more space, more compassion, more time, give him more time, etc. So all of this giving is the overgiving. And you know exactly when you've crossed over that line, because you start to feel resentful, you start to feel more anxious the more of the second guessing comes in, because you're just draining your energy out and not feeling good about it. When you give from the heart and you're giving your space and your intention and your presence, it feels good. If you're doing the overgiving, you start feeling resentful and anxious and kind of spiraling. So you can tell the difference. And it's definitely a huge intuition blocker, because when all your energy is draining out, you're not able to tune into yourself and hear what's going on, because all your energy is just draining away from you. Number 4 is overriding. So the moment your intuition speaks and your logic immediately says, but that doesn't make sense, but it has to be wrong, I'm probably just being paranoid, or whatever it is that overrides it. The override is the most direct way to silence your own guidance system, and your intuition will never fully make sense to your logical mind. That's not a reason to dismiss it. When you immediately stomp it down, if you get a message that says, maybe you need to go on this date, even though he's nothing like your type, or it seemed like he was shy, or you weren't, just something felt different about it, but your intuition was like, just figure this out, go on this date, or reach out, or leave a message. The minute you override because like, oh no, that doesn't make sense, I would never, this is going to waste my time, and stomp it down, that's overriding in a direct way. You're just absolutely denying or saying no to your intuition. And just because your intuition doesn't make sense to you, if you've learned the difference between your intuition and your fear, and you've listened to that podcast episode, and now you're coming back here and you know the difference, and you know when you're overriding it and you're doing it, it might be because it doesn't make sense to you, or you don't see it as part of your vision, or you can't really see the big picture. You're not meant to see the big picture. Your intuition is meant to see your big picture. You're meant to be following it and co-creating. It's not that you're blindly following it. Your intuition is going to gently guide you along the path. And it's something you need to sort of go one step at a time. You don't see the logic in it. So just remember that when you want to automatically override it, it might be because of that reason. Number 5 is this lack of trust and faith that I've talked about in other episodes. When nothing seems to be happening and you start to spiral into this like, oh, this is never going to work, I'm in my 40s, and you stop listening to your guidance because you've stopped believing that it exists for you, or this kind of love or this relationship is even out there, that's when the intuition kind of goes quiet. Not because it left, but because you stopped expecting it to show up, or you've politely asked it to leave and maybe not realized that you did that, because you're just like, well, this is never going to work, and love isn't meant for me, or there's no one out there for me, or there's no good guys left, or whatever that door slamming kind of belief that you have. If you don't even have the trust and faith that it's working for you and that you're being led to where you need to go, you're just going to make it longer. It's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's going to be harder for you. So make sure that you are aware of when you are fully in that lack of trust and faith, and you've kind of given up on your intuition and you don't believe in it. So I talked in the other episode about how I stopped believing in my intuition. And I would say, well, no, I've been led to so many different relationships that didn't work out and they weren't good for me. So therefore my intuition is always just going to lead me into a crappy situation. So I'm not going to listen to it anymore. So what I needed to do was figure out that I was actually the one that was leading myself into these situations. And my intuition had always spoken, but I didn't listen to it. And so it's about reconnecting to that trust and faith that you have this intuitive, powerful guidance system that when you listen to it, it's going to help you, it's going to support you, it's going to move you forward. So those are the 5 intuition blockers. You can just take a moment to see which one is really the most active for you right now. And even being aware, that's a huge amount of information and awareness to have that's going to help you, because now you can be like, well, I'm doing this overriding again, or I'm doing the overanalyzing again. And then you can reconnect to yourself. You can stop in that moment and say, I'm going to connect to my intuition right now instead of analyzing this situation. I'm going to move from my head into my heart, into my wisdom, into my body. And so an integration prompt that you can take with you for today is, which of these 5 is most active in my dating life right now? And be very, very aware of that. I hope this has been very helpful in terms of the pattern awareness and just being more tuned into how your intuition works, how you might be working against it, and then what you can do about it is leaning into that awareness and making different choices in the moment. A different choice to connect to your intuition instead of doing those 5 things, or one of the 5 things, and moving yourself forward from there. You can't make Mr. Unavailable love you, but you can choose someone who does. And remember, love is closer than you think.